Across the endless hush of moon-silvered dunes, a stallion's shadow stretched like a living flame, hooves striking sparks of destiny against the night's dark glass. The desert breathed in slow reverence, each grain of sand a whispered prayer, each star a diamond jewel in heaven's royal crown. From that horizon of molten gold, he rode like a poem carved by ancient winds, his heart a drum of falcon-quick thunder. Fazza, child of desert suns and pearl-deep seas, carried in his chest the rhythm of kingdoms, the silence of 1,000 secret oases, and the single unrelenting truth: love had found him. He had known the solitude of royal halls, the echo of marble corridors where duty speaks in echoes. But nothing, not crown nor conquest, could rival the music that began, the first time her gaze struck his like lightning across a midnight gulf. She, his queen not by law but by the language of the soul, stepped from dream into daylight, veils of dawn clinging to her as desert roses cling to dew, eyes that held the shimmer of deep oasis water, hands soft as the first rain after years of drought, a smile that turned the Sahara into a garden of endless bloom. The falcons wheeled above as if to bless their meeting, and even the dunes leaned closer, their golden curves trembling with quiet awe. In that moment, the world was rewritten. Titles dissolved, crowns bowed, and two hearts recognized the kingdom already alive within them. He spoke her name as if it were a prayer, a sound shaped by wind and wonder. She answered not in words, but in a glance that set the horizon on fire. No poet of old could have captured the way their souls collided, a royal passion older than empires, fiercer than any desert sun. Nights followed like jeweled caravans. Beneath constellations that dripped silver light, they shared secrets too fragile for daylight. He told her of his falcons, their wings slicing dawn like living scimitars. She told him of dreams where oceans bowed to sand, where love was a sovereign stronger than time. When dawn spilled rose gold over the dunes, he watched her hair catch the sun, each strand a thread of liquid fire. He thought of the word queen, how small it seemed beside her infinite grace. To him she was the desert's own heartbeat, the pulse of every star, the sovereign of every breath he would ever draw. The palace walls could not contain their story. Courtyards overflowed with the perfume of their laughter, and even the fountains seemed to rise higher, as if to catch a glimpse of their joy. Servants whispered that love itself had moved in, draping every corridor with unseen silk. But beyond marble and moonlight, their bond was forged in the fierce simplicity of sand and sky. They rode together across open horizons, where the wind sang of eternity, and the falcons carried their vows, to the very edge of creation. She was his throne, not of stone, but of soul. He was her fire, not of conquest, but of devotion. Together they ruled a kingdom, where every heartbeat was a decree, every kiss an unbroken law of stars. And the desert, ancient witness to 1,000 fleeting empires, knew this love would outlast them all. For when a heart finds its true queen, time itself bows low, and eternity begins to glow with royal flame. Twilight spilled indigo across the wide, unending sky, and the desert winds rose like ancient choirs, their voices weaving hymns older than the first star. Fazza held her hand as if it were the map of creation itself, every line a path to forever, every curve a secret trail of light. They walked where the dunes leaned toward the moon, silver rivers of sand shimmering beneath their steps. The falcons slept on high ledges, but the night itself kept watch, 1,000 glittering eyes of heaven, blessing a love that no darkness could eclipse. Stories of old kings and long-vanished queens swirled in the silence like incense smoke, but none could match the legend now taking breath in their embrace. Her voice, soft as midnight jasmine, spoke of courage, of loyalty deeper than the desert wells. his heart answered in quiet thunder, promising a love that would outlive dynasties. When storms gathered, as storms always do, they came not as enemies but as teachers. Sands whirled into golden tempests, testing the strength of their vow. Yet he rode beside her through every gust, cloak snapping like a dark banner of defiance. Together they were an unbroken flame, two souls refusing to bow before chaos. Palace courtiers whispered of politics, of treaties and crowns and ancient laws, but those were shadows on stone. Their real kingdom was written in breath and heartbeat, a realm beyond borders, beyond time. When duty called him to distant horizons, her eyes became the compass he carried, north and south drawn by love's invisible thread. In quiet hours he etched poems in the sand, lines the wind might carry but never erase. My queen, you are the morning after every night, the water in every mirage, the silence that answers every prayer. She, in turn, placed tiny pearls in his palm, treasures gathered from far-off seas. Each one, she whispered, is a star fallen just for us, a reminder that even the ocean envies the desert. When it sees how we love, seasons shifted, rains visited. The desert bloomed in sudden emerald bursts. Children's laughter began to echo through sunlit halls. Falcons dove in joyful spirals overhead. Their love had seeded a new era, not merely of heirs or empire, but of hope, of unity, of hearts unafraid to burn. At dusk, they often returned to the same silent ridge, where their first glance had set the horizon aflame. There he would lift her veil of midnight hair, kiss her forehead, and whisper the truth. That had never changed.